That is right. Much like Chris Hemsworth challenged himself to swim in the Arctic, I'm challenging myself to watch, love, and discuss a documentary. It's crazy, I know. Welcome back, fitness fans. That's right, I'm calling you fitness fans today. I always call you something different in my intros, and if you didn't know that, it means you haven't subscribed yet. I'm judging you. All 17.3% of us are judging you. We're doing something a little bit different today, discussing the brand new docu-series Limitless with Chris Hemsworth, where he explores the different ways we can live better and for longer, challenging himself to regenerate damage, maximize strength, building resilience, shocking the body, supercharging memory, and confronting mortality. In case you're unaware, one of my deepest passions outside YouTube is fitness. I'm very in tune with being active, working out, and what I put in my body, nutritionally speaking. So despite this being a documentary, a genre or subgenre I'm inherently not very invested in, I wanted to check this out purely for the subject matter alone. It helped that it stars one of my favorite movie stars, and Darren Arronosky is very much behind this, even directing some of the episodes. Essentially, each of the 6 episodes in the series follows Chris Hemsworth in this crazy pursuit to live a more fruitful, better, and longer life, where he attempts to maximize his health in every shape and form it comes in by pushing himself to the limit in some way. But it's a show that is equal parts exhilarating and contemplative, because it's never just about these challenges that he sets up for himself. That is the third act. That is the cherry on top of the cake. The adventure is actually exploring the long-term benefits of these experiences, whether it is to swim in ice cold waters, to not ingest anything apart from water for 4 days, to really engage with our brain and try to remain active. So it's a series that intellectually engages with us as an audience, pushing the limits of our understanding and challenging our notions on what fitness and well-being actually are. And while you have a superstar like Chris Hemsworth as the starring vehicle, who himself in his personal life is very much into fitness, there's always someone else who we explore, a day-to-day person like all of us, that is attempting the same thing in their own way. And so we explore what it does for Chris, but because we're all different, it explores someone else, a common blue-collar kind of person that has gone through certain experiences and that has attempted to implement the benefits that come with these certain challenges in their lives. So it's not just about pushing yourself in these crazy, over-the-top ways. It's about how we can implement each of these benefits into our day-to-day regular life. Cold showers, go on a fasting every now and then to rehabilitate our bodies, remain active, go camping, isolate ourselves from the city and from technology. Because it is a series about fitness, I was always going to check it out. I love always learning about my body, my potential, and how I can make myself better and better for longer. But this is a series that is not just educational, and it really dives deep into the complexities and the benefits and these challenges that we can set for ourselves. But it's an extremely entertaining show. I genuinely fell in love with this and all the personalities here and all the different worldviews and philosophies and really the existential nature that it eventually gets to. It's a show that I just had to talk about and not just watch for myself. It fascinated me so much, I genuinely want to implement some of these challenges in my life. I already do fasting in the mornings, I already take cold water showers. I want to do more and see if the results work for me. And it's actually really profound and very insightful. There are a lot of scientists in this show working with Chris in a lot of ways. And while the bulk of the episodes are all about the physicality of it, the literal health and fitness that we think about when we hear those terms, but eventually the series, particularly in episode 5 and 6, dives into personal and deeply existential territory. I was able to check out most of this show before it ever came on Disney+, apart from episode 5, which tackles memory and how it is key to our longevity and how we can keep our memory active and our brain engaged. And once I saw this episode and how personal it really gets with Chris, I understood why I was not given the chance to watch it early. It is probably the most insightful and introspective episode of the series, but it ends with an episode tackling mortality and how we can prepare ourselves for it without feeling like it is a defeat of everything we attempted and everything we accomplished through our lives. It gets very spiritual, and it may not be for everyone. There's a really nice balance between humor and drama that I was not expecting, but while it really engaged me in the narrative and what they were trying to accomplish with this very different challenge, episode 6 gets a little bit more humorous, gets a little bit lighter, but it is nevertheless an important challenge for Chris and for all of us in terms of how we look at ourselves and our world, but it is something much more conceptual. In the first 5 episodes, there's a practicality to it. There's something that we can put ourselves through to try and better understand these challenges and the benefits that come with them. Episode 6 is all very just spiritual, just trying to reinterpret certain concepts in our minds. So while it intellectually engages you constantly, it's just something that you cannot put in practice when it comes to the final episode and learning to confront mortality. It's in this final episode where the show really gets existential, but allows us to emotionally explore Chris Hemsworth, the person, diving deep into really why he challenged himself to all this, why he put himself through all this physical torture, really why he pushed himself so hard, and why it's really not just about himself. It's about his wife, it's about his kids, it's about his family. He wants to explore how to be better for himself, but also so he can be there with them and for them the longest. It gets really emotional, it gets really endearing because it's here where he's just allowed to be himself with his wife and explore really the things he loves to explore. Fitness in every way it comes. And that's something really that I personally related to because I love to explore these concepts and I love how the show tackles and breaks down the science of each of these challenges and why really these notions and these different worldviews are important. The memory episode might be the better crafted. You can tell a lot of Darren Arronosky's direction is behind that, but my favorite episode might be the fasting episode. That's episode 4, and it's just wild. And there's a sense of gratification by the end, a sense of victory that even as just an audience member, you feel watching this show. But once more, it is not just about Chris's experience, he gets to learn from other people. And sometimes through the show, that will be literally one person, one friend, one scientist that can readjust his worldview in regards to something, but sometimes the show is able to dive into entire cultures that adopted certain ways of thinking and have put into practice some of the lessons Chris learns through these challenges and the benefits that they bring. You learn fascinating things about the human body, about the human mind, and really about people from all around the world. So it's really a show that surprised me in more ways than one. But before I dive into my final thoughts on Limitless with Chris Hemsworth, I need you to start the conversation really about if you are into fitness, if you enjoyed this show, what did you learn from it? Has it changed any of the ways you look at yourself and life? Are you going to put any of these benefits into practice and adapt them into your day-to-day life? Anything and everything down there. I can't wait for this discussion. And if you're enjoying this review, you want to see more like them, even though I don't review documentaries too often, there's more like them right up here. I'm sure you'll enjoy them as well. Or if you just love movies and TV, whether they're docs or not, this is the place to be, so consider clicking that subscribe button and you won't miss any future conversations on your favorite movies and TV. Limitless crafts the perfect and complex balance in being entertaining, educational, insightful, and profound. Hemsworth's charm and charisma is a key part of the experience, but he's allowed to be stripped down and just be humanely authentic, creating for an overall authentic experience. I'm giving Limitless an A-. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this little change of pace for myself and the channel, or if you're new, I hope you enjoyed what you saw here and what more I have to offer. Big thanks to my channel members for always supporting the channel, and I'll be back very soon, so until then, love each other and love the movies.